Hello there, you're welcome to our YouTube series on how to start a clothing business, and my name is Laoye Curtis. I will be taking you on this journey to help you have a successful experience starting your clothing business. So far so good. We've covered a couple of points right in my previous videos that you may need to check out, which all adds up to this moment we are in. Okay, because in this series I will be talking about the most important elements to succeeding in your clothing business, and that is your pricing. So in today's edition we'll be talking about fixing your price, because you need your price to be fixed. Now, do you know that the profit you will gain in your business is in your price? Yes, your price is very important. Your price is an identifier, okay, of the kind of brand that you run. Depending on how much you're selling your products, some within your target audience will consider you cheap. Some will consider you expensive. Some will consider you affordable. Affordability is relative, which means what looks expensive to someone may be cheap to another person. Okay, so how do you navigate these waters so that when you promote your products, you are not regarded as too expensive to buy or too cheap to associate with? You don't want to be caught in between those extremes, because it's a very fertile place to be as a fashion brand. So what's the way forward? Well, first things first, appreciate the fact that for your business to grow, you've got to make profits, and your profits will reflect in your pricing, whatever price you're selling at. If you are into bespoke tailoring as a clothing business, right, making made-to-measure clothing for your audience, for your target audience, for your customers, right, the prices at which you will charge your customers will vary. So there's a formula to use, and that formula is simply this: you need to calculate for every project you pick up from a customer. By project I mean every job a customer gives to you to make a clothing item for them. You calculate the cost of production. That is, how much will it cost you to produce one outfit? Yes, you need to figure out that, because that's the basis of pricing. So once you calculate how much it will cost in terms of the things you need to buy for you to produce that outfit, we call them your sewing supplies, and it includes haberdashery that goes into production, right? It also includes the workmanship, that is the amount you will pay whoever you hire to produce for you, to sew the clothes for you. Oh, I'm going to make my outfit myself. Congratulations. You need to pay yourself also, okay? You need to pay yourself also, because if you don't, you will be stranded, and you will join the party of those fashion entrepreneurs that the only thing they have to their name is that they are claimed to longevity in the business. Oh, I've been in the business for 10 years, but with nothing to show for it. You don't want to be caught in that cleft. You don't, trust me. Okay, so you calculate your cost of production, which entails the cost of the sewing materials that goes into production and the workmanship, right? And once you have that figured out, then you add your desired profit margin. Now, if you're going to come up with your desired profit margin, you should take into cognizance your operating costs. Okay, that is, how much does it cost you to run your business in a month? And for that, we're talking about fuel, we're talking about power, electricity bills, we're talking about the other things that go into making sure your business runs smoothly, including data. yeah, including, the money you spend on marketing. Also, you need to figure that, including rent. And for rent, I mean, you divide your annual rent by 12 months to figure out how much it will cost you per month. So if you can figure out how much it will cost you per month, right, to run your business operations, then divide it by 20, which is on average, the number of days an average business should operate in a 5-day working week. Okay. Yeah, so if you use that approach, you would know how much it will cost you per day to run your business. Now figure out, okay, if you know how much it's going to cost you per day to run your business, then you'd have to now make a judgment call, right? Like, how many outfits do you assume you need to make per day? Okay, so if you can figure out the amount of fabric, the amount of clothing you need to make per day, then you can divide that by, you can divide your daily expense, right, operating costs, by the number of outfits, just to get a figure, okay, before you then add your profit margin. Now, this idea I've just given to you, right, the one of calculating your operating costs per month, is a new information I'm adding to what I usually teach people. If you can figure that out, congratulations. If you can't figure that out, well, you can still proceed. Just add up the cost of production, which involves the cost of sewing materials plus the cost of workmanship, right? So once you have that figured out, it equals to your cost of production. Then you now add your desired profit margin. That is, having done the work, how much do you desire at the end of the day, to have at hand after all the sweat that goes into producing that outfit? Whatever amount you figure out, that's your happy price, that's your happy profit, that's your profit. You get joy from making profit. Now it's up to you, depending on the kind of audience you are targeting, depending on how confident you are to call a particular amount as your profit, to determine a particular amount as your profit. It's up to you. Okay, for some people, they may figure out, like, to make an average outfit for a client, say maybe a dress, it will cost them, say for example, in naira maybe 4,000 naira, or in dollars maybe it will cost them like $50. Then they determine, okay, how much will be their desired profit. So they may determine, like, oh, you know what, if I'm selling in naira, my profit will be 10,000 naira. Then it means that I'm going to be charging 14,000 naira. In dollars, they may decide, like, okay, if I'm going to be producing for $50, right, then I might as well charge $150, as my profit. Then I'll sell for $200 in total. It depends on you, whatever works for you. Okay. So once you determine the cost of production plus your profit margin, you can then add what we call negotiation margin. Negotiation margin simply means the amount that you add to your initial pricing as a buffer to protect your profit. This works well because when you are having a conversation with the customer and there's a need to negotiate and you want to give them some sort of discount, you are going to be cutting out from your negotiation margin. So the framework here is your cost of production plus your profit margin plus your negotiation margin. If your customer does not have a strong bargaining power, congratulations, it means that you would still make more profit from your negotiation margin. Say for instance, you're selling at $200 and they are negotiating for you to give to sell to them at $180. I mean, that's an extra $30 on top of what you would have earned, so that's how it works. Okay, so now I've talked about pricing for mostly bespoke businesses. However, if you're doing ready to wear, then you need to do some more calculations, right? For instance, you need to figure out the cost of producing you know, 1 unit of your outfits. But you know, when you're going to buy your fabric and all of the production costs, you need to figure out, okay, how much will it cost me in total? So let me give an instance. Let's say you do your calculation and you realize that to produce an outfit is going to cost you, say for example, in dollars, it's going to cost you $100 per one for one to come out. Then you now determine, okay, how much can I afford in terms of funds to mass produce? So if you realize that you have $1,000 that you can spend to mass produce, right, then what that means is this: you will need $100 in 10 places. That is $1,000, right, to produce. So looking at that, you know, okay, I've got $1,000, I can produce only 10 units. Then I'll sell for, say, $300, and then I'll make my gain. Or in Naira, what if it costs you to produce one outfit for 5,000 Naira? By the time you do your calculations as per how much is the yardage, how much is the sewing supplies that you would use and whatnot, once you realize that, okay, it's going to cost me, like, say, 5,000 Naira per outfit to produce, including workmanship, then you can now figure out, like, oh, how much can I put together as funds for production? So in that instance, it's now up to your financial power. So if you have only 100,000, you can spare, good. If you have only 50,000 Naira, you can spare, good. What if you don't even have any money to spare? It's still okay. You just have to be more ingenious in your marketing. You know, ingenious in using the pre-order model. So you just need to find money to produce the samples. Remember, we've talked about creating portfolio of designs in previous videos. We've also talked about production methods and models you can use. So pre-order production model is something that works for those that don't even have the funds to start their businesses. So which means that you can find the money, okay, the barest amount to produce the prototypes, also known as the samples, which you then promote. When you promote them, you advertise them, you tell people to pre-order. When they pre-order, you focus your marketing, right, to get a minimum number of customers that can help you pull funds. Say for example, if you can focus on getting 10 people to place order over a 1 week period through intensive marketing, you know, organic marketing, and then you get 10 orders. So when you get 10 orders together, then you have the monies that they've sent you as the pool of funds to start with, and you are good to go. So there's no limitations for anybody. Now, when you fix your price, you would know whether you would make profit or not. With this information, I hope you can get started, okay, with this. So the other point I would just like to add to this is that when you need help with fixing your pricing, you can talk to me. Please feel free to take advantage of the comment section, okay, share your thoughts, ask me questions, and then we can flesh it out the more for you. I hope you enjoyed this session. I look forward to hearing from you, and don't forget to click the subscribe button. Thank you.